All praise to the Most High, Ahaya, and to his son, Yahayasha, Messiah, Yedahayah. This is Brother Holly here with the first Spirit of Truth broadcast here on the AHAYAH'S channel, as well as the House of Ahaya channel on this set apart Sabbath day. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all glory, praise, and glory to the great I am, he who is, was, and is to come, the Almighty One, Yedahayah, and to his son, Yahayasha, Messiah, who gave himself for us that we might have life, and that life is in him, Yedahayah. Now, in this first broadcast, we're going to do a little more book review on this resource, the 120 book Holy Bible and Apocryphal Collection, Literal Standard Version. And the reason we're doing a little bit of a book review, though I did make mention of it and give my final analysis of it, saying I gave it a 1.5 on a 10 scale. But I felt compelled by the Most High Spirit. The more I read this, the more I feel compelled to point out some more of the inaccuracies, because curiosity gets a hold of people, and people, the scriptures say in I think it's in First Baruch that, or Sirach, that it's in Sirach, many are deceived by their own vain opinion. That people have an opinion that's their own, and I don't take a word. I don't take your word for anything. You don't have to. No one is saying please hear me. Don't take my word for anything. But if I say thus saith Ahaya, then I would take that, and I'll give you chapter and verse. But anything that I say, you can take with a grain of salt. But as one who is learned and experienced in these matters, with over 40 years almost under my belt, doing these things that we do here on these channels, I feel it prudent to share with you some of my opinions, and that's exactly what it is, on various things that may be out there that can trip you up, or that can bless you, that you can learn and glean a lot from. Because I know it's probably in all of our hearts. We're all seeking one thing: a copy of the scriptures that we can read, that is a clean read without all the pagan titles in it, that is trustworthy precept, that we can glean and we can learn, we can understand, we can be taught doctrine, just like Isaiah 28 says. Who's gonna receive knowledge? Who's gonna be taught doctrine? Those who have been weaned from milk and taken from the breast. You got to get off these milky word doctrines, the basic stuff. You got to move on, go on to perfection, as it says in Hebrews chapter 5. It says, let us go on to perfection, not laying again the foundation. And it lists 6 core doctrines. I call them milk doctrines that the babies should be learning. And it says in Hebrews that we will do. We'll go on to perfection. We'll get this stuff down, the baby stuff down pat, if Ahaya wills it be so. Some of you are going to stay babies the whole life, and nothing I can do about it. You won't grow. Nothing I can do about it. And just all I can do is give you the sincere milk of the word. But there are others who are grown up, who can have some meat from occasion. And, to discuss biblical resources, that's meat level. Okay? So if you are, still on milk, just hang in there. I'm sure you'll cut some teeth and you'll be able to chew on this. Just watch it later. If you're still on milk, you still need to be convinced about the milk level stuff, then this broadcast might be a little bit much to ingest. But if you want some strong meat, something to chew on, something that you can, glean from, something that you can, look into yourself, hopefully this broadcast will help you in developing an opinion on this resource. It's out there now, and it kind of presents itself as being the end all be all for us. And You gotta stop. We gotta stop trusting what the heathens give us in the way of scriptures. Uh, the heathens provide us all these versions of scriptures that we got. There's only been a handful done by someone in the community, and that fact, and the fact that we all want, at least I hope and believe we all want a clean version that contains all of our scriptures that have been preserved for us by the Most High through His Spirit, for the Hebraic scriptures for the Hebraic people. That's one of the reasons that Ahaya has prompted me by His Spirit to put together a book of scriptures, to compile it, and I've mentioned it before, and I'm almost there, children, to where I have the bandwidth, for lack of a better term, to begin on that endeavor. I got a few things I need to clear up first. I need to finish a few little minor things up. I'm in the home stretch on that. So suffice it to say, if Ahaya wills that I live and the earth remain, and His son Terry, by middle of the summer sometime, I'll begin compiling the word of Yahaya to the 12 tribes precept version. And this is not a grift. Our, your own former president, DT, I won't say his name because I don't want to get this video flagged, but DT got his own version of the Bible now. He's hawking it for $60. I wish I was making this up. So this is not Brother Holly's attempt at a grift. And children, hear me. I say this laughing, but I am very serious. If I ever I'm on these channels selling something or begging for subscriptions, if you see commercials during these broadcasts, if any sign that we've been monetized, Brother Holly's been drugged, they done got to me, they drugged me, or I've left the truth and gone off into foolishness. So if that's the case, if you see me on here grifting, asking you for donations or any of that kind of stuff, I want you to cut me off. Yeah, Brother Holly gone. Just cut me off. Unsubscribe. Just end it. If that's the case, like I told you before, and I'll reiterate, these weekly rebukes are free of charge. Come 100%, completely commercial free, and absolutely free of charge. We will constantly endeavor to keep it that way here at AHAYAH'S house and House for High, until Ahaya himself wills it not to be so. I will never ask you for a dime. Why? Because Brother Holly is well supplied. Most High has blessed me tremendously. Children, it's no exaggeration. I wish I could turn the camera around and let you see the view I get to look out the window and see every day. I live one city block from the Atlantic. I can look out the window right now and see the beautiful Atlantic Ocean on this beautiful day here in Central Florida. I am blessed to do that. Oh, praises! Let's get to the script. We'll be reading from my Falling Apart version of the Langfellow Hebrew Torah, Lashawan Badash Holy Tongue, Yahshua Bible Scriptures. I say it's falling apart because it has come completely unbound from the binding, and so I'll have to retire it soon. But I have another line here on the floor, but that one hasn't been highlighted in precept. This one, I've had the time here with you. When I say, will you highlight? Brother Holly's already highlighted. And one last thing before we begin, I know this has been the longest introduction in the history of these channels, and thank you for your patience, but I feel compelled to address the current events. There's a lot happening in current events, and those of you who've been here a while know Brother Holly runs from discussion of current events like a scalded dog. But AHAYA has graciously allowed me to discuss some of the more recent current events, because his handiwork is being seen, and we'll be discussing some current events in the next broadcast, if AHAYA wills it to be so. All praises. Turn, if you will, to Habakkuk, chapter 2. Let's start reading at verse 2. Habakkuk 2:2. And AHAYA answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. Will you highlight? So here we have AHAYA himself telling the prophet, write down what I'm showing you. Make it plain, put it on tables, that the people who read it, the you and me's, the people who read it may read it and run with it. And he said, the vision that you wrote on tables, it won't lie. It'll be true. And it won't tarry. It'll surely come to pass. And it's for the last time. I'll read it again. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. And AHAYA answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it surely comes and will not tarry. Highlight, and underline. Now, same verse we're going to read from this polluted version. You would think that he couldn't mess that up. I mean, that's pretty clear. Even the direction to write it down and make it clear is muddled in this version. Let's read it in the 120 book Holy Bible Apocryphal Collection, Literal Standard Translation. The Literal Standard Translation, it reads, and AHAYA answered me and says, write a vision, not write the vision, write a vision, and explain on the tables, that he may run who is reading it. For yet the vision is for a season, and it breathes for the end and does not lie. If it lingers, wait for it, for surely it comes. It is not late. That's just, I don't know. Am I being too critical, children? But that just didn't have the same clarity as what we read in the KJV version. I'll read it again. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 in the LTS, the literal translation version. And AHAYA answers me and says, write a vision and explain it on tables, that he may run who is reading it. For yet the vision is for a season, and it breathes for the end and does not lie. If it lingers, wait for it, for surely it comes. It is not too late. So we're going to go back and read it again in a reliable Bible. You just couldn't even let that one go. Tell me I'm marked. Thank you for your patience. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 in a reliable version. The KJV. It says, and AHAYA answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and it will not tarry. Oh, praises. So what Habakkuk was instructed to write down was surely going to come to pass. It was going to be truth and no lie. But the literal standard translation didn't really communicate that well. It was not the vision, it was a vision, given a connotation that there are multiple visions out there. And you're saying to yourself, bro, how is that all you got? No, as as Ruckus said in one of the episodes, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's turn to Second Esdras in the Apocrypha. We'll be reading from our handy dandy AHAYAH'S King James Version, Bible Apocrypha, Enoch, Jasher, and Jubilees Book of Scriptures. We'll read from the literal translation first. And please understand, children, where I'm turning. I'm not picking at this version of the scriptures. There's a lot here. There's a lot to it. There's a lot. And I did give it a rousing endorsement for it got Genesis 48:19 and Romans 11:25 correct. It made it tied them together beautifully. It tied together a point that I've made on several broadcasts, on several opportunities that AHAYA has willed it to be so on these channels through the past for years, a couple of years, easy. I've been saying for the longest that the Gentiles in the New Testament were the seed of Ephraim of the house of Joseph. The Gentiles that the Apostle Saul, who the world ignorantly called Paul, was sent to. He was sent on the same mission that the Messiah was sent on. And the Messiah sent him on the mission to reach and teach the lost sheep of the house of Yasha'Allah. That would be the children of Joseph or the seed of Ephraim. They're the Gentiles. They're the heathen. Because anytime you see promises made to heathens or them being saved or brought back or any of that, as we know from Romans chapter 9, verses 1 through 6, that the promises, covenants, laws, priesthood, Messiah, the fathers of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all of it only pertains to the children of Yasha'Allah or the children of Jacob only. It pertains to the COJ, the children of Jacob only. That's who those things pertain to, belong to. Even this version, the literal standard translation, says that. So it doesn't get all things misconstrued and gobbledygook or wrong. But you got to really be careful because it slips in universal salvation. It even says so in the preface of this version that's its goal, to make sure you understand that the good news of the redemption that was provided by AHAYAH'S Messiah is for everybody, no matter your nationality. This is a composition of Hebraic texts and some heathenistic texts, like the Epistle of Barnabas. And the Epistle of Barnabas deserves its own series, child. And if AHAYA wills it to be so, I endeavor in the future broadcasts, if AHAYA wills it to be so, to do that. The Epistle of Barnabas is a piece of work. And it's found in here. And it's being pushed off as scripture. And it's just, it couldn't be anything further from the being scripture. That's inspired by the Most High. But here, in this particular compilation, it's counted amongst the scriptures. Called scripture. Wow. So, suffice it to say, if you pick up a copy of this document, you got to read this one like eating fish. Remember, you probably heard that back when you were with the Constantine Christians. You know, eat the meat and spit out the bones. I say, Don't even waste your money. That's what I say. That's why I do these reviews. So you can make up your own mind if you want to waste your money or not. Because you can't trust it. I'm showing you why today. Let's continue. Go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 3. In your Apocrypha. 2nd Esdras, chapter 3. Let's start reading at verse 35. Or when was it that they which dwell on the earth have not sinned in your sight? Or what nation has so kept your commands? You will find that men who may be reckoned by name have kept your precepts, but nations you will not find. What? I read that from the 120 book Holy Bible and Apocrypha Collection, Literal Standard Version. I'll read it again. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 3, verse 35 and 36. We're reading it with the understanding that when we read the same verses from a KJV version of the scriptures, they're going to say something completely different. And you'll see in a moment. I'll read it again. From the Literal Standard Translation, 2nd Esdras in the Apocrypha chapter 3, verse 35. Or when was it that they which dwell on the earth have not sinned in your sight? Or what nation so kept your commands? You will find that men who may be reckoned by name have kept your precepts, but nations you will not find. If you got one of these perverted versions, highlight. But when you highlight right in there, see a KJV version of 2nd Esdras chapter 3 for more information. So let's see what more information we can get. 2nd Esdras chapter 3, verse 35 and 36 from the AHAYAH'S King James Version Bible Apocrypha Enoch, Jasher, and Jubilees. Let's see what it says. Or when was it? This is 2nd Esdras chapter 3, verse 35. Or when was it that they that which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Yasha'Allah by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. What? That's clear as bell. And that can be precept. What do you mean, brother? How that this version of that truth can be precept and the other can't? We have precepts that say that the Most High gave his word to the children of Jacob. The Most High gave the law to the children of Jacob and didn't give it to any other nation. That's in Psalms 147. I believe it's 147 verse 30, if I'm not mistaken. And he had not done so, then they should look it up. Hold your place in 2nd Esdras. Woo. Thank you for your patience. I got multiple copies of the scriptures open at the moment. I'm reading from the Lampale Hebrew Torah, Lashon Kodash Holy Tongue, KJV version. Psalms 147 verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Yasha'Allah. Verse 20, he have not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. What does it say here? 2nd Esdras, chapter 3, verse 35. Precept, verse 36, about what I'm going to read with Psalms 147, 19 and 20. Let's see if we can precept it. Second Ezra chapter 3, verse 35. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Yasha'Allah by name hath kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. We see in Psalms 147 that the heathen weren't even given the precepts to keep. No other nation was given these words. No other nation was given the command to follow them. And here in 2nd Ezra, in a reliable Bible, you will see that point being brought out. But if you go over here to this illiteral, I'll call it the illiteral standard translation. Nothing literal about it, because it can't be precept. It doesn't say that Yasha'Allah by name have kept the precepts and not the heathen. Listen to what it says. Or what nation has so kept your commands? Verse 36, 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 36 in the illiteral version. You will find that men who may be reckoned by name have kept your precepts, but nations you will not find. What? You will not find what? You won't find other nations on a map? And who are these men who may be reckoned by name? Can't any group of people be reckoned by name? Can't Canadians be reckoned by name as being Canadians? Can't Americans be reckoned by name as being Americans? Can't Mexicans be reckoned by name as being Mexicans? That says nothing all the time. People being reckoned by name, that could be anybody. But when you go to the real verses, the truth, what does it say? Thou shalt find, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 36. Thou shalt find that Yasha'Allah by name hath kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. That's right, they haven't kept them. Why? We can precept why the heathen haven't kept them. Because they were never given them to begin with. How do we know that? We can read that in Psalms 147. And this is part and parcel of why AHAYAH has laid it on my heart to create a precept version. In the precept version, the precept be in parentheses. This is within the script. When you're reading it, you'll see Psalms 147. While you're reading this precept, you'll see Psalms 147. And when you read Psalm 147, you'll see 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 35 and 36. See, that's precept upon precept, line upon line. Here a little, there a little. That's how we'll learn knowledge. That's how we'll be taught doctrine. But you can't precept this version. And this version changes the meaning of things, left and right, by taking singular words. We're going to stay in 2nd Ezra for this. They took a singular word and turned it into Mormon doctrine. And you have to be familiar with Mormon doctrine for that to make sense. Let's see it. 2nd Ezra chapter 2 in the literal standard version, or the illiteral standard version. 2nd Ezra chapter 2. It says here, it says, "O receive," this is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 37. "O receive that which is given to you of AHAYAH, and be joyful, giving thanks to him that has called you to the heavenly kingdoms," plural. Well, that you probably wouldn't catch that if you were just reading this, because you wouldn't think of it as somebody who is trying to propagate on you some false doctrine that the Mormons believe. The Mormons believe there's multiple heavens. There are multiple kingdoms, heavenly kingdoms. And there are people that look like me, and probably some of you, we can't get to the high heaven. That's only reserved for white people. Only thing a person look like me can be in the Mormon hierarchy of heavens is a servant to somebody from the high heaven. But that's reserved for only white people. Perhaps this guy who put together the literal translation version has some either Mormon tendencies or maybe a Mormon himself. I don't know. But he slipped in. It was done purposefully. I'm going to read from the KJV Apocrypha what it says. Verse 37. Second Esdras chapter 2 verse 37. Oh, receive the gift that is given you and be glad, giving thanks unto him that have led you to the heavenly kingdom. Singular. One heavenly kingdom. Where's that precept, Brother Holly? Throughout the scriptures. It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Not the kingdoms. The kingdom. Not over here. In the illiteral translation version. There's nothing literal about it. There's multiple kingdoms that you can receive. But in the truth, there's only one. We're striving for one kingdom. We're striving for one king of the one kingdom. That's what I'm striving for, and I hope you are too. So let's review. We didn't go into all of it. Oh, there's more. We went into enough to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the 120 book Holy Bible and Apocryphal collection cannot be trusted. It can't be trusted to even tell you to write the vision down correctly. It can't even obey that command. It can't even render that straight, let alone key verses throughout the scriptures that point to salvation, the word, the Messiah, the covenants, and the promises belonging to the 12 tribes of Yasha. All praises to the Most High and his son, AHAYAH'S, Messiah, Yada Hayah.